Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Diana at the Misfit Journal Maker, and today we are going to do the corset pocket, which is what I had been telling you I was going to redo the template for. It's got a pocket in here, and then when you glue it down just around the sides, you can also put tags behind. Okay, so I redid this template. Hopefully it works out the way I intended. So we'll see. One thing I did realize after I did it, and I'm not going to redo it because it's a very easy fix. The person who originally did this, okay, you're going to need 2 pieces of the big piece right here, your main piece. You're going to need 2 of those. The reason I say that is because I'm not using cardstock. If you use cardstock, you don't need 2 pieces. It doesn't matter what's on the back because that is not going to show. I'm using 2 pieces because I'm using 24-pound copy paper. When you use this much cardstock, it makes your journal really heavy. And I'm trying to, for me anyway, I want to make the bulk go down. So anyway, I thought I had done this, but I didn't. I originally, on what I wanted to do, and you can cut this off, I wanted to have it so it just went up once, okay? If you're doing cardstock, you definitely only want to do it once. So you're going to cut off the 1.5 inches right here. So it just flips up once, okay? The way you would do it, I guess, with regular copy paper is to flip it up twice, okay? So if you're going to use copy paper, you would need to score it 1.5 and 3, okay? So, and then you're going to fold it up, and that's what I did here, okay? So I've got 2 pieces of just regular paper, copy paper, and I'm going to glue those down together, all right? I scored them just like this is scored here on my template at 1.5 and 3, okay? Only because I messed up and I didn't do the template the way I had originally intended. So, just go ahead with the copy paper. That's probably a good idea, and fold it up. I've already, for me, I like to do my edges with ink. I've already done that. If for some reason, with my template, you have overhang, just cut it off. It's not going to hurt anything. The only thing you don't want to cut off is from the top, because your hinges, okay, are going to match. So if you have overhang, you want to make sure that your hinge meets at the top here, and any overhang cut off at the bottom. Don't cut off up here, across here. Even if it's off, it's not going to show. It's going to be glued down to your page. You have to make sure that your hinge meets here at the top, and if it's over, cut off from the bottom, okay? So I'm going to start off by gluing these 2 together, okay? And I'm going to use glue stick because I want my papers to be flat. I don't want to have like a lot of the ripples and stuff that you can get from the wet glue. Okay. And I'm using Scotch Permanent Glue Stick. It is the, I guess, replacement for Scotch Create. So far, so good. But I missed my Scotch Create. I guess that's no longer going to be made. Okay, so if I can just stick my fingers, I'm going to start. This is the part I don't like. Okay, I guess I'm going to do it this way. So I want to make sure my bottom meets. So that's where I'm going to start and then go up. And hopefully this will be... You don't have a lot of time to pull on this if it's not in the right spot, I'll tell you that. This glue is very, very sticky. So I'm hoping... Okay, I think I did it right. I am off at the top. I don't care. It's not going to show. Okay. So, whoops, got my brads here. I'm pulling away, or my eyelids. Okay, now that this is glued, and as you can see with the glue stick, it's pretty flat, okay, which is what I want. And since I've already scored mine, I'm just gonna go ahead and flip it up like that, okay? So you can score before you glue it or after you glue it. That's completely up to you. But if you're using regular copy paper, I would suggest that you be very careful when you're scoring. Don't score too deep because you will rip the paper. And that's not something that you want to do. Okay, so now you've cut out 2 pieces for your main piece of the pocket, okay? This didn't even matter. I didn't need to have anything here. It's not going to show. Okay, and everything pretty much looks to me like it's okay. It might be a little over here, but I'm not going to, well, maybe I will cut this off. Hopefully it'll be all right. You know, when you're cutting, sometimes as hard as you try, it's just not completely there. Okay, now what I did with the other 2 pieces of the template is this was all one sheet, okay, right here. I cut out 2 and left 2 so I could cut it out with you. Okay, there's a left side and a right side, okay? So the one that I cut out already is the right side, okay? And as you can see, okay, I've got overhang from this. And I cut it the exact same way. The reason that is because we've got 2 pieces here, okay, which is fine. You need 2 pieces. After I cut this and fit them together, you can see it's just fine. And if there was a little overhang, you can cut that out. So you need 2 pieces of your right side, and then you also need to do 2 of the left, okay? And I would suggest, I put the holes here for your eyelets. After you cut the template out, okay? Did I put those on there? Yeah, I did, okay? Take your crop-a-daw, whatever you call this thing. I don't like it. We've said this a million times. Or your hole punch, okay? And cut those out first, okay? And then when you're tracing this, you can also trace the holes so you know where to punch. We've got glue on there. Not good. Okay, so now I want to show you, okay? I did the right side. Now, as you can see, I'm putting it right up to the corner here, and I'm pulling it so it's right up against the edge here on the side, and it meets at the top, okay, and it fits perfect, and that's what you want, okay? So we're going to put this aside for a second, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. I didn't want to have a lot of cutting. It just makes the video longer. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, my hands are not as steady as they used to be. So sometimes your cutting is off and you just got to adjust, you know. Mostly it's not a big deal. And you just cut off overhang and you go on. So I hope I'm still filming. I was watching another journal maker the last couple nights, and poor thing, both videos she's done recently, she lost sound. She had no sound through the whole entire video. So I hope mine doesn't do that. Okay, so we've got one. Now let's cut the other. And then sometimes too, it's very hard to see the lines if the paper is dark or busy. So that's another reason you could have overhang. I mean, I don't know about a lot of you, but I have arthritis, and it's in my right hand pretty bad. So I don't have a lot of strength in my right hand at all. And so that's another one of my things. So I'm not too worried about it. You know, junk journals, they're not made to be perfect. And I do my best. Okay, now let me put this, all this aside. And we've got these two pieces ready to go, okay? I had some white here. That doesn't matter because it's going to be on the hinge. And I wanted the sunflower to be prominent. So that's why I did that. So I'm going to show you how I went ahead and scored this. And let me make sure that my whole scoreboard is in here. Okay. So the best way to do this is to line these up. Okay. And flip them. Okay. So it's just easier this way. And then on your 1/2 inch, you want to score. And don't score too hard. Okay. You just want to do it very lightly because you don't want to rip that paper. Okay. I put this in the wrong place. Needs to go there. Those things are really easy to lose. Okay, so on here, we're just going to take these two, line them up, and we're going to fold on that score. Okay. Now this one, I do have a little overhang, and I'm not going to worry about that because I can totally right now take it and cut it off. And it's not going to matter either because there's going to be lace there. But if you want to do it, it's fine. It's very slight. Okay. Okay. So now I've got some glue on there. I hope I can. You can't really see it, but I can feel it. Sometimes an eraser will get it off. All right. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and while these are together, I'm going to use my 3/16 side of this, which is the big one, and I'm going to cut out the holes for our eyelets, okay? And you want to move your little thing here on the side if you have this one so that it goes in the same amount of space for each hole. Okay. So that's perfect. And this thing does not let me, where's my other scissors? I don't think this is going to work. Yeah, it did. I have to take out, every single time I have to take out the little paper because it doesn't let it go. It's supposed to go in there, but of course it doesn't. And by doing this, oh, that time it did, you have your holes in the exact same place in both papers and also in the exact same place on your opposite side. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those two. I'm telling you. Okay. How funny. Sometimes it flips out and sometimes it sticks. That doesn't work. All right. One left. All right. So now we've got all of our holes punched and a big mess all over my table. Okay. It is really getting warm here today. I think California has seen the last of its cold weather, which doesn't make me too happy. I would not choose to live in the desert in California, believe me. Okay, so now, as you can see here, okay, hopefully I have this. You're going to line up, like I said, your top little corners so that they're perfect. Now, this here is overhung a lot, okay? I don't know how that happened because I had it measured right, but it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anything because you're just going to flip it over and cut it off. Boy, that's a lot. I'm going to have to redo that template again, but I'm not going to redo it now because this isn't a big deal, okay? You're just going to cut that off. Okay, and now it matches perfectly. Never cut from the top. Cut your overhang from down here. I think I got it a little crooked. I'm going to fix that. Yep. I want to make sure that's right on. I was trying not to cut the bottom. Okay, hopefully I didn't cut that. Okay. I just dropped something. What did I drop? Okay. So now that we're done with our other stuff, at this point, you can take your wet glue and you're just going to glue right here along here. This is going to be your pocket. Actually, if you wanted, you can just glue here a little bit. It's not going to matter. I think, yeah, it's not going to matter at all. I just did it just to do it. And then you're going to glue here. Okay, and make sure you got enough. Okay, and then you're going to flip this up and push down. Okay, this is going to be your one of your pockets. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is put on the hinges. Okay, now I think I'm going to do the lace before I do the hinges. I didn't try this, so you guys bear with me. I have some Timu lace, which is really pretty, you guys. You know, I'm on disability and I have a very tight budget, and I shop Timu because this I think was 98 cents. No, $1.98. But if you buy this on Amazon, you're talking $7, $8. I can't afford that, and I'm sure a lot of you can't either. So that is something you know, that you want to think about. And you know, I just realized something. Okay. So you're going to put don't put your glue in your holes, okay? So you want to just put a little line of glue right next to the very edge. Okay? Don't glue your holes. Okay? And you're going to take your lace and I'm only gluing just barely onto here. And luckily this lace, you can kind of turn it. Now on my other pocket I did, that lace didn't want to turn. And so it wasn't very easy to make it lay flat. This one looks like it's going to do good. Okay, now the reason you're using two pieces is to put that lace between. I should let it dry first. I need a little more glue. And I need to cut it off, which would help. Okay. I can cut the excess off later. Okay. So I'm just going to let this sit and dry a minute before I try to do anything else. And we'll go ahead and do the other side. Okay, so you want to do the same thing. Just a little tiny bit of glue. Now you could have done your holes after and maybe put them in a little bit further. This is only my second one I made of these, you guys, so I am by no means trying to be an expert in anything here. I'm just trying to, like, help you guys make this pocket if you love it like I do. I'm sure somebody's going to come up with something better or a better way to do it, and that's okay. Because it seems like that's what we all do. You see someone do something, and then you've come up with a maybe easier or better way to do it, and that's great, because I learn from people, and then I do things differently than I did originally. So we all learn from each other, kind of round robin thing. See, now while I'm letting this dry, take up a little time here. This is the lace I used on the last one. And as you can see, it's straight. It did not want to turn. So it wasn't, this also was from Temu. And this is 5 or 10 yards of lace. I can't remember, for $2. So yeah, if you guys that are on a budget, or anyone who just doesn't want to spend Amazon prices, you know, I know it's out of the country, but when you have money issues, that is sometimes something you can't help. No matter how much you wish you could, you know, support local businesses. I can't afford it. Okay. So there you see. Okay. So now I'm going to take my glue and go up the side here and around, and don't get near your little holes there. You could do it in between them, but don't put any glue up there. Okay. And now I can pray real hard this works. Okay, you want to do your best to line your holes up. That's your main concern. Okay, and then this here, I'm going to have to cut off a little piece of this lace because it's not letting me shut this. Oh Lord, where are my little scissors? Those are too big to get in there. Come on. My glue is drying. Okay. Okay, also I'm going to cut this extra lace off the bottom. Okay. And let's check this out. Okay. So because that lace hangs over up there, me personally, I'm going to cut this off. Ah! Too soon. Uh-oh. No, 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 no. Okay, don't do what I do. Let it dry first. Okay. And also what I just realized, and I do this all the time, I did not right here along the side. This is going to be covered. This won't. I wanted to ink it. And of course I forgot. So that's okay. It just is what it is. All right, let's glue this one down. Am I still filming? Yep. Okay. So make sure you get your corners. Okay. Then we're going to slide that on. First thing you want to do is make sure that you line up Gosh, I got shaky hands today. What is with this? Okay. Come on, Diana. Okay. So first thing you want to do is slide it so that your holes match up. Okay. And then you can tuck in that, which everything did. Perfect. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I want to give that just a second. Whoops, and I just hit the camera. Sorry, guys. Okay. I just kind of don't want to have disasters, because last time I did this, and it seems like every time I get on camera with this, it is, and I've got to take off my sweatshirt because I am just roasting in this room. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I had some issues with my eyelets, so I hope that we don't have that problem again. And I see some extra lace, so I'm going to hopefully not make a second hole here and just try to get that lace out of that hole. Would help if I could see. I don't know any other way to do it that's not going to cause an issue. Okay, let's see. Okay, not too bad. This one I'm going to have to do too. Yeah, it might be better if you do your holes after. I'm not really sure. I just wanted to make sure that they matched up across, so that's why I did that. Okay, so now I'm going to start putting these in, and I can still feel that that's kind of wet. I'm going to put my dryer on this for just a second. Sorry about the noise, guys, but I don't want to mess this up. So let me plug in my heat gun and just hit this a second. Okay. Hopefully these eyelets, this is the one problem with Temu, is their measurements are not the same as ours on some things. They're a little off, and that can cause an issue. This one went in pretty good, and hopefully I am not going to have any problems. I want to flip it over, but I'm worried. Okay. Yes. Every time I do that, I hold my breath. Okay. In fact, I'm going to pause you guys while I do this. I'll be right back.